Here at Pow Wow. 9/11 brought people from around the world together. Initially, of course, this coming together was in sadness, but it also became coming together in solidarity and hope. And we do know that when the memorial opens in 110 days, not that we're counting, people from across the globe will be coming to visit. As leaders in the tourism industry and given your contacts throughout the world, we welcome your support in raising awareness about the memorial and how to plan a visit. Today, I'd like to give you a general sense of the memorial project and our current progress, as well as brief you on the plans for our public opening this September. I also want to thank NYC & Company, who is really no better partner promoting the best city on the face of the earth. The National 9/11 Memorial as an organization essentially has two missions. One is commemoration. By honoring the 2,982 victims of the 9/11 and February 26, 1993 attacks, we recognize that those who died were the everyday mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, and all they did was what all of us do every single day, simply get up in the morning and go to work. The victims hailed from 92 different nations. The oldest was 85 years old, and the youngest was 2.5. Here you can see an animation of the memorial itself. The key feature of the memorial are the two reflecting pools that sit in the very footprints of the Twin Towers themselves. They'll be the largest man-made waterfalls in the country. That building right there is the museum entry pavilion, which will take visitors down to bedrock 70 feet below the pools where the core of the historical exhibitions will be. The museum will open 1 year later on the 11th anniversary, September 11th, 2012. The building is actually designed by a Norwegian architecture firm, Snøhetta, which recently opened the Oslo Opera House in Norway. The names of the 2,982 victims will be arrayed around the pools. You can see those names in the animation, and I'll speak a little bit more about that in a minute. It's no secret that this project has faced its share of challenges, but our board, led by New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, made a commitment to dedicate this memorial on the 10th anniversary of the attacks. We recognized a very fundamental proposition that the eyes of the world would be focused on the site on that day in a tremendously intense way. We simply had no choice but to deliver a memorial that inspires and that this entire country could be proud of. We also realized that as important as the 10th anniversary is, it simply wasn't enough to hold the ceremony and then close the next day. The public's will to visit this memorial and pay their respects has been evident for years, and in some ways only seems to be increasing. After much deliberation, we committed to opening to the public on 9/12/2011, that's the next day, and staying open with continuous operations. So on that day, following the anniversary, Monday, September 12th, will also be an historic day. And the efforts to prepare and to welcome the public are actually no less challenging than those of the physical construction. For the first few years that the memorial is open, visitors will have an incredibly unique opportunity to witness the rebuilding of the rest of the site around them. An historic view that includes the towers rising, which includes the tallest building in the United States being constructed, other commercial buildings, as well as the WTC transportation hub taking shape. Because the memorial will be the first project to open on the original 16 acres, it will be surrounded on all four sides by construction, and we are creating an entry and exit path to bring visitors onto the site safely. And during this interim period of continued construction, we will manage the capacity on the plaza, and visitors will require a timed pass, available free through a reservation system on our website, 911memorial.org. This will help avoid long queues and ensure as many people from around the world as possible who want to visit the memorial can do so in a safe and meaningful way. Visitors will also be able to better plan how they want to spend their day. For so many visitors to New York, time is limited, and we understand that they would like to pack their day with sightseeing, shopping, dining, and other events and attractions. The reservation system that the memorial is using will help visitors plan their itineraries so that they can make the most of what Lower Manhattan and the rest of New York City has to offer. Our reservation system, which we expect to launch in early July, will also give special accommodation to visiting victims' families. Passes can be printed at home or by group planners. Passes will also be available for pickup at our 9/11 Memorial Preview site located next to the World Trade Center, and the passes that visitors receive will direct them to an entry point just south of the site, and from there visitors will proceed to the Memorial Plaza. We are working with some incredibly important strategic transportation partners, some of whom are represented here today, Twin America, New York Water Taxi, and Statue Cruises that are helping facilitate the implementation of this timed reservation system. In addition to being able to plan their visit through our online reservation system, visitors can actually begin their experience by exploring our website that learns and teaches about the 2,982 names of the individuals that surround the perimeters of the twin pools. Like the individual lives they represent, the names on this memorial are connected to each other, and this arrangement is unique to any other memorial that's ever been built in the world. They are arranged, the names, by layers of meaning, reflecting where people were and who they were with on 9/11. We conducted outreach to the thousands and thousands of next of kin of the victims, asking for guidance on the particular names which they wanted to see their loved ones' names inscribed. Over 1,200 of these requests, what we call adjacency requests, were made, and they guided the entire arrangement in tribute to the relationships shared in life, as you'll see in just a moment. A new section of our website, names.911memorial.org, replicates the entire names arrangement and allows people to understand the meaning that underlies it. It's an application that will also be available at the memorial and through handheld devices. Like many aspects of the memorial itself, our objective was to take something complex, in this case, the layers of meaning infused in the names arrangement, and portray it as simply as possible. This is the landing page of the site that shows the memorial. Most broadly, the names are organized into 9 groups. 1 for the victims of the February 26, 93 bombing, 2 for the Twin Towers, 4 for the hijacked flights, 1 for the Pentagon, and 1 for the first responders. Within these groupings, the names of victims from each company or agency, or for example, the passengers aboard a flight, appear together. Here, by searching for Cantor Fitzgerald, you'll be able to see the names of the 658 Cantor employees, every single person in the company's offices that morning, and where they are inscribed around the North Memorial Pool. The CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald is on our board. In addition to losing all his employees on that day, he lost his best friend and his brother Gary, and has given back by his service on our board. The most personal and meaningful aspect of the names arrangement is its ability to reflect the relationship that existed between victims. Some of the most heartbreaking stories are those of entire families that were aboard the hijacked flights. Daniel Brandhorst and Ronald Gamboa were traveling home from vacation with their 3-year-old son, David. As with all families on the memorial, Daniel and Ronald's names appear alongside one another, above their sons, something that would not have been possible in this case through an alphabetical arrangement. Also aboard Flight 175 was the Hansen family. Christine Lee Hansen, at 2.5 years old, was the youngest 9/11 victim. She was with her parents, Peter and Sue, whose names appear above hers. Finally, some adjacencies connect names on the memorial with people today. On the North Pool, the World Trade Center section begins with the 293 names of the employees of Marsh & McLennan, immediately following the names of those aboard Flight 11. Among the passengers that day was Richard Barry Ross. It's absolutely heartbreaking that his oldest daughter, Abigail, lost not only her dad that day, but also her best friend, Stacey Lee Sanders, who was at her new job at Marsh on the 96th floor of the North Tower when Flight 11, her dad's plane, crashed into it. When Abby comes to the memorial on the 10th anniversary in 110 days, I hope she will take some comfort in seeing the names of the people she loves so much alongside one another forever. These stories are only a few of thousands. They connect the names to each other, and they